Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the shit show. So, right out the gate, I want to just say that COVID sucks. COVID is a shitty fucking sickness, and I don't wish it upon anybody. I've been exposed to it no less than 15 times because of my history in law enforcement. I've only tested positive for it once, but I have shown heavy symptoms of it 3 times out of 15. I take that as a good percentage, and I didn't fucking die. And I'm fat and overweight, and I'm a candidate for fucking all the horrible problems that come along with COVID. So I was fine. It's not to say it's not serious. It fucking sucked for at least the first couple days. So having said that, I don't wish COVID upon anyone. Every single person who gets it, whether they're a friend, whether they're an enemy, whether they're a great person or a piece of shit, I would never wish that on anybody, and I hope you pass through it quickly and painlessly, and you fucking come out on the other end squeaky clean and a full bill of health. Having said that, that's the topic of discussion for today. Today, the news was yesterday, who fucking knows what time it is anymore. The news broke that our fantastic, lovely, America-saving President Joe Biden has tested positive for COVID-19. And I gave you that long, sappy bullshit intro to make sure you're very clear. I am not wishing any ill will on Joe Biden. I think he's a piece of shit. I think he's a terrible fucking president. I think he's a fucking puppet. But I don't wish any ill will on him. I don't want anything bad to happen to him. I hope he does well. I hope he fucking comes out on the other end with a clean bill of health and nothing bad happens to him. So now that we got that out of the way, I want to point out the fact of a couple things. At one time, I had a Facebook, and I was posting things that were called conspiracy theories and tinfoil hat messages, to the point where my Facebook got canceled, my Facebook got shut down, and I more recently started a new one where I'm just gonna use it for what Facebook started as, a way to communicate with friends and family, and I'll leave my controversial shit to other platforms because Facebook is run by a bunch of Nazi pieces of shit. So all those things that I got canceled for ended up being true. Fucking is what it is. One of the things that I discussed at great length on Facebook and Instagram, I'm surprised because at one point they were connected, and I'm surprised I got canceled on one but not the other. One thing that was up for great discussion and great debate that I participated heavily in was the fact that the vaccine initially, and y'all can fucking backpedal now, oh no, we never said that. Initially, the vaccine was touted as the thing you needed to do because it was going to keep you from getting COVID. But anybody with half a brain that's gotten all these fucking vaccines over the years that are now mandated in general to get to schools and all kinds of other stuff knew that the vaccines, while a great deterrent, did not guarantee you anything. Things like tuberculosis and the flu, even though you got vaccines, people were still dying at pretty steady numbers. I believe right before the COVID pandemic blew up, there were like 14 million people that died of tuberculosis, even though we've had a fucking vaccine for that since the beginning of fucking before I was alive. So the COVID vaccine was touted as the thing that was going to be the savior. It was going to fix all the problems. You weren't going to get COVID, and you had to get that untested jab because it was going to protect you from COVID, the deadly COVID. So everybody got the vaccines. Not everybody, but the sheep got the fucking vaccine. So what happened after that? Vaccinated people were getting COVID at high numbers. So then the narrative shifted. The narrative shifted from, well, well, vaccines don't guarantee that you won't get it, but it will lessen the symptoms. It'll make it much more manageable and less likely to die from it. Cool. So, as people continue to get sick and continue to die despite having the vaccine, what was the next logical step in the Nazi USA fucking government standard? Booster shots. Ah, yes, booster shots. So you get a booster shot. Now, before I go any further, I want to point out that, yes, I am not against vaccines. I am against forced vaccines. Vaccines have their place, especially if they've been tested and vetted and they make sure that everything is kosher with them. Rushed vaccines are no bueno. And it's funny how amazingly along the way somewhere, they magically, months and months in after trying to force these vaccines down your throat, they went, yeah, because we tested several similar vaccines and viruses, everything. Yeah, we have a lot. I know we've never seen COVID-19 before, but there's been a lot of similar shit. So we took care of it that way. Like, we used previous research to find a new vaccine for a thing we've never seen before. Anyway, the next thing was booster shots. What was the booster shot supposed to do? Even though the COVID vaccine started out as, you won't get COVID if you fucking have the vaccine. And then it turned into, well, the vaccine, you can still get COVID, but it'll lessen the symptoms and make sure that you don't die from it. And it'll be much more manageable because you had the vaccine. All of a sudden, neither of those was true anymore. Now we need a booster. And what was the number one kind? There were a couple companies that were dabbling in the vaccine, but what was the number one company in charge of the vaccine? Pfizer. What was the number one company in charge of this new booster that suddenly was supposed to do all the things that the vaccine promised in the first place that didn't fucking come to fruition? What was the number one company? Pfizer. So everybody went out there and got their booster shots. And I want to point out that my mother-in-law and my father-in-law, because of their advanced age, my father-in-law got the vaccine. And he got COVID. And it was fucking bad. It was like he was going to die. My mother-in-law, who didn't get the vaccine, magically didn't get COVID. Amazing. Funny how that works. So what did he do? He went and got the booster shot because that's the new thing. I know we promised that the vaccine was going to keep you from getting it. I know we promised that the vaccine was going, but that's not true. And I know eventually we told you that the vaccine was just going to make the symptoms more mild. But now we've got this booster shot. And that's really going to be the thing that does it. Except it wasn't. You then needed a second round of booster shots. Now, mind you, all of the vaccine and booster naysayers went, when the vaccine came out, what did they say? It's only a matter of time before a booster comes out. And what happened? A booster came out. And what happened after the booster came out? What did the naysayers of the vaccine say? They already made you take the vaccine. Now they got a booster. How many boosters are they going to give you? Every time you turn around, there's going to be a new fucking booster shot. What happened? All of a sudden, the booster that was supposed to mild the symptoms that the vaccine was supposed to mild that never did, all of a sudden, those aren't milding the symptoms anymore. Now, you need a second booster. You need a second booster shot. That was going to be the one. That was going to be the one that solved your problems. You might still get COVID, and it might still suck. But because you've had your vaccination and your booster and your second booster, you were going to be okay, and you were going to survive that wretched COVID. Except everyone kept getting COVID, and it sucked. And if you say it didn't, you're lying, and you don't know anybody that had the COVID shot and the booster and got COVID, because it still sucks. Bad. So why do we bring all this up? Because President Joe Biden recently got COVID. Again, God bless you, and I hope you don't fucking have any ill treatment from COVID. But what did he also have? The vaccine. What did he also have? The first round of boosters. What did he also have? The second round of boosters. So now that Biden has had the vaccine and the booster and the second booster that was supposed to solve all of the world's problems, now that he has still managed to get COVID through all of those mandated bullshit fucking chemicals that you can't trust, that you put in your fucking body, what is he adding on top of that? A Pfizer drug that is through prescription only, that was rushed through the FDA process. Funny how Pfizer keeps fucking benefiting from everybody's misery. You think that the FDA cares about you? Go on Netflix, and if you can't find it on Netflix anymore, search for it. There is a documentary called The Bleeding Edge, and they will show you the fucking sham that is the FDA process. You're welcome. Here's the thing. People get sick. They survive. They die. Shit happens. Herd immunity is not... Don't listen. You can play this game where we like to change terms and what they mean to try and fit narratives. The bottom line is herd immunity has nothing to do with vaccines. Herd immunity comes from the populace gaining the infection, learning how to cope with it, and the body developing somewhat of a resistance to it. That is how herd immunity happens. Hand sanitizers, the advent of hand sanitizers, led to more people getting sick because they didn't build up their immune system. You can like it, you can hate it, it is what it is. So, how much longer is this shit gonna continue? How much longer are we gonna go, oh my God, the government, the science, the science says this, the science says that. The bottom line is, Fauci and the fucking scientists all over the American media have been incorrect. Frequently. Not all the time. Frequently. And all of the other countries that are doing well with COVID are going in the opposite direction of what the mainstream media and what Fauci have been preaching. The states that have been doing things like Florida, like Texas, like other places that are not getting crazy and doing all these lockdowns and all this fucking mandatory vaccinations and all this bullshit, those countries that are not buying into the bullshit, they're succeeding. Open your fucking eyes. This shit is not about safety. It's about fucking control. Just like the Second Amendment attacks, just like the freedom of speech attacks, everything is about fucking control. And these people are testing you to see whether you're going to fight the power or whether you're going to fucking roll over and let the government tell you, I got you. I'm all about your safety. Every single dictatorship has started with the government taking people's rights away and freedoms away for the sake of the greater good of the population. Wake the fuck up.